Hi, my name is Oskar Laffont. I'm an artist and I'm with Danny Guerrero, and this is Meet the Artist.
Hi, Oscar.
Hi, Danny, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you for allowing us to step into your studio and do this interview.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I feel very, very humble and very grateful.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's start. Tell me a little bit about yourself. When did your love for painting begin?
My love for painting began when I was 4 years old, and it was just, in kindergarten I was I was a bit of a loner, so I was always drawing by myself, and I would like in the middle of in kindergarten in the school break, I would go behind the school to just be by myself so that I could draw. And as I got older, the other students realized that I could draw cartoons very well. So they started asking me for can I do this cartoon or can I do drag cartoons? So I started taking commissions from other students when I was very young.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so eventually as I got older, like 6, 7, I started taking proper painting classes, and that's how it all began.
So you started at 6 or 7, that's when you started your painting classes?
Yes,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and I had my first show when I was 7 years old.
That's so awesome.
So yeah, and from then on I just kept painting.
It's beautiful. Great. And your paintings are so awesome, by the way.
Thank you so much.
How do you define your art?
I would define my art as mystical surrealism. And what I mean by that is that behind each one of my paintings I try to convey a spiritual concept, something that intrigues me. It's religion and how we use symbols in everyday life that kind of allude to something greater than us, something sacred, something divine. So I research and find archetypes, and I try to give them a modern spin, like a modern surrealist spin. So even though there's something very classic about my work, you'll always find modern elements of it, like Los Angeles as a backdrop, or just pop icons like pop culture, things like that bring ageless teachings and symbols to a new generation.
That's awesome. I think that's very important too, right? Because the newer generation don't really sit down. Well, I take that back. There are a lot of awakened souls with this new generation, which is awesome. But the whole detail with your paintings just expands your mind so much. You just start looking at it, and I think you're doing an awesome job by expressing that through your paintings.
Thank you so much, Danny. It means the world to me that people like you appreciate it, and that they see the detail that goes into them.
Yeah, that's very detailed, and it's great. How do you deal with the pressures of being constantly innovative?
Not very well. I've learned with time. When I was younger, I started having creative blocks and feeling that I wasn't good enough and things like that. And what I learned relatively recently, because I had a break from painting for almost 7 years in which I didn't paint at all. I was just doing film and other stuff. That's how I met you.
That's great.
Yeah. But what I've learned recently is that everything that I do is an expression of myself, and regardless of whether I think that I'm good or not, as long as I am expressing myself, that's the most important thing. It serves its purpose. So that's a good thing for me to remember, that I'm not doing something for other people to judge me on, but that I'm doing something because I love it.
And somebody will appreciate you for that, because you're letting us go into your world, but through your paintings, because paintings say so much of an artist, I think, emotion-wise, and just what goes on through their mind and all. And the fact that that's your focus, that's awesome, because you're giving us a glimpse of who you are and a glimpse of your world, and Thank you so much for that, because that's awesome.
Thank you.
What artist or artists have influenced you the most?
So I first really fell in love with painting by studying the Renaissance painters,
Okay.
Michelangelo in particular. And as
Okay.
I got older, Leonardo kind of became my favorite painter.
Okay.
But Salvador Dali is also obviously someone that has inspired me a lot. Goya, well, from modern living painters, I have Mike Beard.
Okay.
I really love his work. Mars One,
Okay.
he's a mural painter in San Francisco. I really love his work, and I mean, I try to get, I try to feel inspired by almost every art that I go and see. Like, what can I get out of a show, which is what the art is there for. But yeah, those are the artists. Like, I love figurative work and I love the human body, but I do kind of tend to gravitate towards flamboyant, surrealist scenarios more than anything.
Beautiful, though. How do you balance your motivation and struggles as an artist?
I try to sort of, I try to do as much of, well, something that has really kept me motivated is I'm also an art teacher at the Palos Verdes Art Center, and having my students kind of look up to me and like helping them find their own creative voice as something that has really kind of like brought me back and vitalized me. Just seeing them paint and just for the love of it, not because they're scared of what they're going to think, or like they're the worst judge. But having like being there as a guide and showing them what I know has just been like the greatest gift to me, because it's a way of giving back all the great lessons that I had from all the teachers that made me the painter that I am today.
It's so beautiful. You're paying it forward through art, and that's so beautiful too. And it's great that your students keep you balanced. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your favorite quote of all time, and why?
It is not true that people stop pursuing their dreams because they become old. They become old because they stop pursuing their dreams. And that is a quote by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, which is my favorite author.
I love him.
I absolutely love him, and I've had a very special relationship with his work, because I first read 100 Years of Solitude when I was, again, like 8-9 years old.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of my work is kind of makes allusion to Magic Realism.
Okay.
And the impact that it had in Latin America. So I have many quotes from him, but that's just one of them. Like, you can just look into any page and you'll find so much depth and humor and comedy and history. So yeah, like I wanted to give one of Gabriel Garcia Marquez's quotes to you.
Thank you for that one. I love his work, and that's very, very beautifully said and very true. That man has way too much wisdom. Okay, and to end, where can people follow your work?
They can follow it on Instagram,
Okay.
at OzzyLA, OZZYLA, or on Facebook, Oskar Laffont, Oskar Laffont Official, and where else? And on Patreon, patreon.com/Oskar Laffont.
Okay, and we're going to put all those on the links in the description below. And thank you so much, Ozzy. This is wonderful.
Thank you so much, Danny. It was been so wonderful. Thank you for considering me and for having me. I am so grateful to you.
Oh, thank you. That's
Thank
great.
you.